Chicago police are investigating several deadly shootings across the city. In the Little Village, a 29-year-old man was killed in a drive-by shooting on South Kedzie. In the back of the yards, a man was found shot to death on South Honore. And in West Garfield Park, a 32-year-old man died after he was found shot in the head on South Kilpatrick. Police say that he died at the scene. So far, no arrests have been made in any of those shootings.
America, 3 people got killed in Chicago in a single night. Little Village, back of the yards, West Garfield Park, 0 arrests, not one. And here's the thing, the guy running the city spent his career grading homework, not running a police department. And the same week, those bodies were still warm. His administration wasn't building a task force to find the shooter. It was building a press conference to file the paperwork against federal agents. Chicago found the emergency to fight the people who showed up to help. It never finds the emergency to fight the people pulling the triggers.
We have chosen our right to file police reports together to make our collective demand for accountability both public and impossible to ignore.
All we are asking is for our justice system to do its part, to investigate.
What is up, guys? Tyson DeLaCruz here. Thank you so much for rocking with me. Listen, I know what it looks like when a city stops caring about a problem because it stops being newsworthy. If a casino or building power goes out, it gets fixed that same night. The building can't afford to remain closed for several weeks, okay? Chicago has had this broken system sitting there for years and just keeps walking past it, whistling.
The carnage continues throughout Chicago, and we're tired of it already.
Was a plea from community members coming together in the wake of recent gun violence in Chicago.
I'm not counting on the politicians to fix this. I'm not waiting for the police to do anything. We, the people, have to come together and figure out a different way.
That is a community leader here, not a politician, sitting at a restaurant, probably a Japanese restaurant because they're drinking tea. They're saying the quiet part out loud. He's not counting on the politicians. He shouldn't, because the politicians have failed Chicago. He's not waiting for the police because there's not enough police to police the city of Chicago. That is a man admitting on camera that the system that he pays taxes to has already given up on him. Here's the sequence, and it matters in this particular order. Trump's federal government offered Chirac, they offered Chicago real manpower to help get ahead of this violence. Brandon Mohawk Johnson, our good friend Brandon Mohawk Johnson, he said no. His own police superintendent asked him for a snap curfew tool to get ahead of this locally. Guess what Brandon Mohawk Johnson said? He said no. He vetoed against it. 2 offers, 2 no's, both from the same mayor. And I want you to sit with who this mayor, if you're not familiar with Brandon Mohawk Johnson, I want you to sit with who he actually is for a second. Before Mr. Mohawk took the job, before Brandon Mohawk Johnson took the job, he was a middle school teacher and a union organizer. That, my friends, is his entire resume, his entire LinkedIn resume. No prosecutor office, no police command, no business experience, no business running anything bigger than a classroom of 7th graders. Saying, who's going to get the spiral notebooks? Who wants wide ruled? Who wants college ruled? That was Brandon Mohawk's entire resume. And now he's the guy deciding whether a curfew tool gets signed while 3 people bleed out in one night in the far side of his own city.
We have chosen our right to file police reports together to make our collective demand for accountability both public and impossible to ignore.
All we are asking is for our justice system to do its part, to investigate.
City Hall found the money. They found the lawyers in the press conference to organize a coordinated legal filing against the federal agents inside of a matter of weeks. Now watch, you guys, what that same city did with the 3 people who got killed on the street the same week that the filing was announced.
A driver is arrested in a hit-and-run crash that left a 25-year-old woman dead. This happened last night. Police say she walked in between 2 parked cars when she was hit by a sedan. The driver left the scene only to hit another SUV, causing a chain collision. The suspect left the second crash, but then crashed again, this time into a tree. He ran away from his car, but was eventually taken into custody. The woman died at the hospital. Charges are pending in the case.
They got 1 arrest. A car crash, caught on the spot. Driver couldn't run far enough after he hit a tree. That's the version of Chicago's justice system that only works when the suspect basically, collapses because he's out of shape.
House says a male with a ski mask was in the front yard. He had a shotgun. He fired off about 10 shots.
They say a person or people inside shot at the group, hitting 3 of them. Police describe a bloody scene when they arrived.
Well, there's a lot of blood on the front steps here.
Evidence markers lined the front yard and the street as police searched for victims inside and outside the house.
Man down, squad, man down. Are you shot?
Police say a 33-year-old woman, 36-year-old man, and a 43-year-old man were all shot and transported to Stroger Hospital in fair condition. A 30-year-old woman was not shot, but was also transported after she somehow hurt her feet.
4 people shot in broad daylight, front yard, ski masks on, 10 rounds fired. Shooter drove off clean. Nobody's cuffed. CBS News put a timestamp on the exact shooting, 8:22 in the morning. 36-year-old man shot in the leg 3 separate times. A 33-year-old woman shot in the knee and the ankle. 43-year-old man shot in the leg and the body. A 4th woman standing next to him all didn't get hit, but still ended up hurt somehow. And that, my friends, is one shooting out of the entire weekend that CBS tracked block by block. And I'm getting Chirac fatigue, you guys. 5 people dead, 14 wounded, 1 weekend. 2 17-year-olds got shot in that same alley that same afternoon on South Michigan Avenue. 24-year-old man had to walk him to the hospital on Division Street with the gunshot wound because nobody drove him. Almost every single one of those incidents on that list ended up with the exact same 3 words: no arrests made. Here's why nobody's scared of getting caught. If the arrest rate on a shooting is basically 0, there's no deterrent left for these people that are shooting people. The guy pulling the trigger on the west side is doing the math the same way that a driver does when he runs past the red light with no camera. If the odds of getting caught round down to 0, the behavior obviously doesn't stop. It becomes a routine for these YNs. It's basically a Saturday night in Chirac. It becomes background noise to the 10 o'clock news. 5 people dead, 14 people wounded, filed and forgotten by Monday morning. So here's what your tax dollars are actually buying Chicago. Community leaders in that restaurant weren't asking for something crazy here. They were talking about more police, more cameras, more prevention money. I think that's a fair ask. And they're not the ones stuck living inside the failure while the man with the gavel used to hand out hall passes. Funny thing about this, who's supposed to write that check? Congress, the same federal government whose agents Chicago is currently suing. You can't burn a bridge to Washington on Monday and then mail Washington an invoice on Tuesday. You got to pick one. America, they found the lawyers, they found the paperwork and the press conference to go after federal agents inside of a matter of weeks. They still haven't found a single shooter ever for the 3 killings this weekend. The same week that those filings happened, one of those groups got coordinated legal filings. The other group got chalk outlines and a news anchor moving on to the weather. A middle school teacher can run a classroom on a hall pass and hope. You can't run a city that same way. The 5 families found out this week the hard way. Chicago didn't run out of options. It ran out of anybody in charge who's ever actually solved a problem instead of assigning it as homework. Let me know what you think about this. Drop it down in the comment section down below. Smash the like button if you kindly would. Share, subscribe, and as always, guys, I'll catch you on the next one.